kick it off with a very enjoyable event, as you may have noticed from all the lovely people around the room today. Now, I can't speak for the warden, but I think I can confidently say that one of his very favorite tasks is traveling around the county and meeting an array of individuals who coach our children, create community theater, respond to emergencies, spearhead community events and initiatives, and so much more. Well, today, we are actually recognizing 3 community groups that truly exemplify the spirit, determination, and kindness that is so often demonstrated in Annapolis County. We will only be presenting 3 certificates for each of the organizations. However, we have provided the coaches of the Annapolis County Special Olympics and the Junior Valley Heavy Athletics team with certificates to present to each and every one of these athletes. But we are fortunate to have some here today for photos. So let's begin by bringing the warden forward to present each organization with a certificate of recognition. And our first is going to be to the 74th Crusaders Motorcycle Club. And I have asked my colleague Tina, lovely Tina, to take pictures for us. So if we could get Gary and all his fellow Crusaders to come up.
Up here?
Up here.
You're not known for being bashful.
Really, no.
You want me in the middle?
In the middle.
Over here? Come over here.
You want to do it over there? Okay.
Over there.
I'm trying to
It's more from real. So we're going back here. Right there. As
you was before you were what you are now.
Yes. Here.
Come on there, buddy.
Okay. Everybody ready?
These fellas smile as much as I do.
And maybe the warden can read what's on the certificate, so everyone knows what you're being recognized for.
You need to go out. Sorry.
Certificate of recognition is awarded to the 74th Crusaders Motorcycle Club for your outstanding community mindedness in bringing recognition to Annapolis County through your efforts to provide a safe, welcoming, and respectful environment for bikers, families, and guests, and your dedication in providing charitable activities in the province of Nova Scotia and beyond. Well done. And you're going to ride out quietly?
Fred will take that. Fred's your person.
Forever.
Yes. So Fred is not just a member. Fred was a founding member, and that's 50 years ago. So Fred's been with the club for 50 years.
How old does that make you?
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Very appreciate it. Really. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Now our second lovely group will be the Junior Valley Heavy Athletics team, and I think that might be one of the reasons that the warden is all dapper today in his attire. So we will ask Jamie to come forward with a couple of his athletes.
And this one is to the Valley Junior Heavy Athletics team for your outstanding community mindedness in bringing recognition to Annapolis County and the promotion of fitness, self-esteem, and cultural understanding through the medium of Scottish heavy athletics. Now, not to put you on the spot, but what do you do?
I'm a thrower.
Of
Of all the events.
which ones?
Well, I do caber, weight for distance, weight for height, hammer, and stone.
And have you won any competitions?
Yeah, I won my most recent one.
What was that?
It was the Apple Gala Days in
Yeah.
Berwick.
Oh,
And I
good.
won first place for the youth category.
Well done.
Excellent.
What do you do?
I do everything that she does too, just for the
age group over.
Do you do it better?
I've been doing it longer. No,
And how have you made out in the competitions?
pretty good. I've won every one that I've done.
Well, did we get all the photos?
I didn't get any photos.
Oh.
You were reading.
Take one for each of us then.
And we should point out, Jamie is one of the coaches. He's been doing this for years.
Did you watch it?
I can believe.
I watched a little bit.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Now, our last, but certainly not least, group is our Annapolis County Special Olympics athletes. It has been a very busy year for this group. Some have competed at the National Winter Games in Calgary, and we've had some competing at the Nova Scotia Provincial Summer Games just recently at Acadia University. I'm going to ask them to come forward. The warden has the certificate.
Who went to Calgary?
I don't think, no, Jessica's not here.
Okay. The Nova Scotia team at Calgary was composed of, I think, 20-some people, and there were 4 from our group. And if you sit down and do the arithmetic, you will see how well these folks did out there. This is to the Annapolis County Special Olympics for your outstanding belief in the power of sport, recognizing it offers a gateway to empowerment, competence, and acceptance, and your dedication to training and competing, which demonstrates your commitment to doing your best at sport and representing Annapolis County. Your actions enrich the lives of all those around you. Now she's going to take some pictures.
Did everybody look at me and smile?
That's asking too much.
Okay, I think we're good.
Thank you very much.
I don't know you.
How are you?
Just gave her a folder.
Oh, didn't give Jamie the folder.
Thank you to everybody.
Just check too. Did you give them all their certificates?
Yeah, well, yeah. Some movies in there.
Good, right?
So you go down my high five?
That's a lot of good.
All right, so you guys are proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Gentlemen, thank you. I might take over now. Could do that now. One of these days I'll go forward.
Okay? Page 9. Who would like to do the first one? Councillor Longmire.
I move that municipal council approve a grant to the Clarence United Baptist Church in the amount of $5,000 to assist with the cost of rewiring and painting their church in accordance with Policy 101 Community Grants.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Enslow. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.
Thank you. I move that municipal council approve a grant to the Habitation New Horizons Club in the amount of $4,217.49 to assist with the cost of repairs to the roof and window replacement in accordance with Policy 101 community grants.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. Carried. Who would like the next one? Councillor LeBlanc.
I move that municipal council approve a grant to the Talia Barn Cat Rescue in the amount of $5,000 to assist with their spay and neuter costs in accordance with Policy 101 Community Grants.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Longmire. Discussion. Councillor Longmire.
Thank you. I would just like to say a huge thanks to, again, another group that is stepping up and stepping out and helping us in our county with controlling the cat population. They are amazing humans with huge hearts. Thanks.
Councillor Poe.
Thank you. I would like to echo the comments of Councillor Longmire. It's nice to have people, well, we've always had people, but it's nice to have folks coming forward to work so hard with some of the issues that face feral cats and cats in general. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Gunn.
Thank you so much. What, did they just catch and neuter and release? Is that what this organization does?
No, they actually try to rehome mostly all of their animals, all the cats.
So this is one of several
This
we
is
have.
one,
throughout the
yeah,
county.
so they have a similar makeup of the previous grant application that you approved for cats. So they'll actually
Yeah.
take in stray cats, they'll find foster
Yeah.
homes for them, take them to the vet and make sure that they're
Yeah.
healthy to be rehomed.
That's good. So we have probably 2-3 organizations like this throughout the county.
Two have applied so far to
Two
the
of
council.
them. Okay.
I'm not sure the total amount, but those seem to be the two big ones. around.
Thank you so much.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And we'll move to page 13, please. Deputy Warden.
I move that Committee of the Whole recommend to Council to amend Policy 116, Committees of Council and Council Meetings Procedure as circulated, 7-day notice.
Seconded by Councillor Sheridan. Discussion, please. Councillor Ensmore.
The only question I have is, so we're deleting 45B, Life Estate Advisory Committee. Is it really a good time to do that? Or are we going to, just there's a big issue now, Rick, that we're dealing with spraying. And I'm just wondering if, but we really haven't used that committee since that report was done in 2021. I'm just looking for, should we delete it or should we not with what's going on right now?
This actually formalizes receiving the report
Okay.
and confirming that they had completed their mandate.
Perfect.
Should you wish to do another examination, I guess, you should reactivate, create.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. And page 31, please. Deputy Warden.
I move that Municipal Council approve Policy 128, Travel and Expense as circulated, 7 days notice.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Hudson. Discussion,
Could I
please.
There was one update that I did overlook, and it was caught by the warden and deputy warden when they did their review, and that is, I would ask your discretion to additionally add that UNSM should be changed to NSFM in every place that it appears in the policy as well, to update to the new name.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried.
Let's see on that.
And now we go to page 40. Councillor Sheridan, please.
I move that municipal council approve policy 129, appointments to external organizations as circulated, 7-day notice.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Proud. Discussion. Councillor Longmire, please.
Thank you so much. It really is wonderful to see the overhaul. I know monthly when we're here and we see several policies being reviewed and seeing these necessary changes and certainly as it speaks here, the numbering system, a comprehensive review, so important. It keeps us on our toes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Page 47, Councillor Enslow, please.
Thank you. I move information for awareness and increased safety of public.
Oh, sorry.
Am I in the wrong place?
Sorry, no, it's my mistake. This is an information.
It's on the side, yeah, okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, we've been hearing a lot of questions and issues regarding parking and safety issues, particularly in Granville Street in Bridgetown, and also the public traveling, not knowing where to park. So we've generated totally right now in the area with our 3 parking lots, I think we have something like 99 parking spaces. But if you notice the map that I provided to you folks, I've removed some of the parking spaces along Granville Street to make it safe.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we've all encountered doors swinging open and almost hitting somebody getting out of a car along Granville. So we removed parking in various locations to make it safe. And where a street intersects with another street, in particular Granville Street, there shouldn't be any parking across the street from that. And there has been in the past. So we removed that. So based on the information you have in front of you, we will be proceeding to do repainting of those no parking zones along Granville Street, and we'll be posting signs like that green sign with the big P on it with arrows on where to find public parking in Bridgetown, so that people know where to find it, from the sports hub to the downtown to Jubilee Park.
Councillor Hudson, please.
Just to say that, this initiative is way overdue. And, it's something that should have been acted on, way previous to this. Along Granville Street, especially in the heart of town, it's very bad there. You get people parking on both sides of the highway, and you get vehicles trying to pass, and especially, trucks and stuff like that. So it's way overdue, and I appreciate the initiative to rectify that situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Longmire, followed by Councillor Enslow, please.
Thank you. So I've been bending an ear or two and have been hearing from many, and it's not just the citizens that live in the Bridgetown catchment area. It is everyone that drives through that town, and I drive that street, Granville Street, on a regular basis. I am also a business owner in Bridgetown on Jeffrey Street, and so we're all running into people who have had either a near miss or an accident. Back several years ago, and I say several, I don't remember exactly the year, but there was a terrible, terrible accident with a very young boy. And at that time, I had raised some concerns with the county. I am thrilled to know that we have moved forward with putting our eyes on the ground and looking at the needed changes, and going to be doing an ongoing review of the streets. I do know that the area there where you come up the hill to the Scotia Bank, I can't remember the name of the street, but it faces as though to look to the left, Mama Sophia's Pizza. It's very difficult, and although there are yellow striped lines there restricting parking on the direct left-hand side, you have to edge out and keep edging out to look left and right. It's just unsafe. So, we've again made some noise about that. All of these changes are going to make us all feel so much safer. I would just also like to add that I find that crosswalk just a little bit daunting as well because of the edging out and trying to grab a lane. Just wondering if that can be considered for maybe a flashing light so that people can cross there safely. It's really difficult, right? But kudos to the county. We've put great parking in place for people to smartly and safely park. So, hopefully they're going to use that.
Just a comment on the flashing light. I'm willing to try one. I see them everywhere. I tried to put one up on Church Street, but local area people didn't want to see a constant flashing light. So that's what it is. It's a light that constantly flashes to let you know. It's not press the button and start flashing. It's constantly flashing, which is another slow down method, and it's a good idea. Willing to look at it and try it, see how it works.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ensel, followed by Councillor Gunn and Councillor Connell, please.
Thank you. So I'm glad that we're really actioning on the loud voices. I know it's something I've been advocating for 2 years. The only thing is, I noticed on your map, on Centennial, so you have a library on one side and Fraser's Hardware on the other. That should really be no parking.
There may be signs posted there.
There's no signs.
There's no signs?
No.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
people,
fair
it's a
ball.
very thin road.
Yeah, there's a narrow
So
strip
people are
there.
parking there to
Yeah,
to go
there's no
to
parking
Fraser's.
for the library. They're trying to...
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if we could look at that as well.
Yeah, sure.
But it looks like all the areas that were concerns are being addressed. The only thing, I know it's not this area, but we were looking at getting a crosswalk button sign for the crosswalk up by the sports hub. Are we still looking at that? Because school's in now. And I asked
Right.
back in
Oh,
May and
yes.
June. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd like to
I mean,
talk about
we
that.
would potentially have budget to do something like that. We can look at that.
Because we looked at doing it for the summer, but it hasn't showed up.
No, and I suspect we do, the one on Fay Drive
Yeah.
is where you mean.
Because school was in, and
Yeah.
I've already had 2 calls from the school, so. Asking if we're gonna do it,
Oh, okay,
because they're nervous that they're gonna get hit by buses and stuff.
okay.
Perfect, thanks.
Councillor Gunn, please.
Thank you so much. This would be a good thing because it really does need to be taken control of up there. But my question comes to the last and the policy implications there. How will we enforce this? Are the RCMP going to start issuing tickets until we come up to speed? Or are we going to send, I don't know, the counselor or bylaw enforcement or somebody to issue these tickets? Because there will be. So I guess that would be my question. How will we enforce it? And when will actually we do it or leave it to the RCMP?
Well, currently, yes, the RCMP can enforce traffic act in the province, which includes in Bridgetown and no parking zones, et cetera, because there are provincial fines for all of that. But in order to appreciate the fact that the RCMP has a lot of duties to do, parking may not be a priority for them. We would have to look at amendment to bylaw to empower ourselves to issue summary proceedings tickets and figure out who the appropriate people would be and make sure they had the proper training, et cetera, in order to do that. So I'm not sure, Don might know about the length of process to have something like that done. 6 months? 6 months. But I think a soft sell is to get these zones up, make sure people know, because Councillor Gunn, I know exactly what you're talking about. As soon as we painted a certain area, there were people parking there the next day. Just ignoring the signs and ignoring everything, so.
Only gonna be a minute.
Yeah, so we do have to act on it, and we'll be looking at that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councillor Collins, please.
That was my question. Was to see how we were going to handle the enforcement.
Right. Yeah, it's not fair to ask the RCMP to do parking tickets.
No, they can't make most calls now.
Councillor Longmire.
Do you want me to go?
Yes, please.
Freeman Street, I know there had been some signage change there. So it draws me to, as we're talking around the room, how do we make notice for people so that they are aware that changes have happened? I know paint is obvious, but signage, so like stop signs, even the painted, areas, like making awareness. Do we advertise it in the reader? Like, how do we make that?
We could look at, I've talked to Nadine about a few things, and then Cheryl McIntosh has mocked up, not necessarily a detailed drawing like this, but to show the public, and we can post that online, where the parking locations are, but we could do an update on traffic every couple months about what's changed, because we did take some stop signs down on Centennial that didn't make sense, because it's like go, stop, go, stop, go, stop. So we took some out. To your point as well then, in other areas where we make changes, there's no reason we're not updating the public about that all the time.
Sure. And then just one further point. I'm noticing on very narrow streets, perhaps they're legal size streets, I don't really know, but there are particular streets where the sidewalks, of course, are not accessible. And I'm seeing on a regular basis, and I can commit to the regular basis, people parking up on the sidewalk, impeding walkers, roller aids, people getting past, and they're having to go around actually the vehicles on those streets. So again, something else that we need to be mindful of, I guess. Thank you. Thanks, Jim, for all the hard work.
Councillor Bartow, please.
It's a necessary and a tough one all at the same time. We tend to be creatures of habit, and if something is a certain way for as long as you can remember, somebody changes it, you don't necessarily just, it's like you don't see it. It's not intentional. So I think a little more publication or maybe making the public aware that awareness thing isn't just painting yellow lines on the tape, and in the wintertime, it's got snow on it, so you don't see it anyway. But so we got to make sure there's a combination of the painted no parking on the pavement and signage, as well as publication, to try to move this forward. And there's going to be a transition period. I know there's places where it used to be a drive-through and they've changed the traffic patterns, and all of a sudden it's a three-way stop or something like that. But the first time you're coming along, you're halfway through the intersection, was that a sign? Was that a stop sign? So we can all fall into that trap. And I think the more we can publicize that, the better.
Yeah, to your point, every place that we're going to hatch out yellow paint, there will be signs if they're not already. But as we know, the people ignore it, so we got to take the next step. So hopefully in 6 months we have something in place to address that.
Thank you. Further discussion? Thank you.
Sorry. I just want to make just one general comment, and I guess it pertains to not just parking in Bridgetown, but parking anywhere, okay? And it's a habit I've been trying to get into. I sometimes forget, but if I'm parking, open your door, talk on the driver's door, with your right hand. That makes you turn to see if there's traffic and stuff coming. And I think it would be, just from a safety perspective, if we could all get into that habit, I think it would result in perhaps fewer instances. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Thanks, Jim. We move to page 50, please. Councillor LeBlanc.
Thank you. I move that municipal council approve the road name Pointer Lane for the shared access road in Meadowvale on PID 05026372.
Seconded by Councillor Kraut. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Page 52, Councillor LeBlanc, please.
Thank you, Adam. I move that municipal council hold a public hearing at 11 a.m. on November 19th, 2024, to consider the deregistration of the Captain James Anthony House, a municipally registered heritage property located at 1625 Granville Road, Fort Wade.
Thank you. Seconded by? Councillor Enslow. Discussion, please.
Right here.
Councillor Gunn.
Thank you very much. I hate to see deregistration of our heritage properties around here. A few years ago, we had the old famous round barn up in Upper Granville. And it was a registered heritage property. And I sat back in the day and watched as that became deregistered as a heritage property locally, and then get dismantled, moved, and rebuilt in Yarmouth. So I just hate to see our local heritage, deregistered. When we go through not the expense and the time and the commitment to register these as a heritage property, and then all of a sudden deregister them. Is this going to be a trait that comes along because people can't, have to pay a little extra insurance? I don't know, but it's a shame. That's what I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you. This motion is to have a meeting to consider it.
That's right.
If you're in favor of the meeting, if you're against the meeting, that's...
The discussion.
No, that was my point, thanks.
Yeah.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Unanimous. You're opposed.
Yeah, I don't like seeing our heritage property.
Then it's 10 to 1. Thank you. Page 66. Councillor Hudson?
I move that municipal council approve the establishment of a new pavilion structure of up to 30 feet by 60 feet and no greater than the height of 15 feet at the Annapolis County Regional Outdoor Sports Hub that will be purchased and funded by the Annapolis County Outdoor Sports Hub Society on lands located north of the artificial track, provided they meet all the regulations associated with building permits and development permits that are required, subject to the approval of the Director of Municipal Operations as to the exact location and installation requirements.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Enslow. Discussion, please. Councillor Enslow.
Thank you. I just want to say that I'm really impressed with this group, that they're really moving things forward, and there's been quite a few events. The fact that we had Olympians there, we had different training sessions. I know that I'm kind of biased in some ways, where both my kids are sports fanatics, so they participate in every activity that happens there. But the fact that we can bring these people to this event that can be used by all the people in Annapolis County, as well as the fact that we were able to attract this world-famous runner that came to organize this for free. Now, hopefully that's free forever, but but they're really taking the whole task. It's a shame that the tennis club keeps getting broken into. They just had a break-in last week where they, people broke in and took a lot of donated and purchased items, which cost thousands of dollars, like a Blackstone grill and a microwave. But they were nice enough to lock the door when they left. So, yeah.
They didn't want any.
They didn't want anyone, no, exactly. So, but the fact that I'm supportive of this group 100%, and the fact that they're already at the point where they see a need and they want this need, and I really see why it's beneficial, where we really have no coverage if the rain happens or anything like that. I know they have some big plans for this building once it's developed, and I'm just 100% supportive of it. Thank you.
You, okay. Deputy Warden, followed by Councillor Bartow, Councillor Hudson, and Councillor Longmire.
And don't forget Councillor Gunn, thank you.
Never.
Linda Blount?
Okay, Deputy Warden.
I don't oppose the plan as a concept, but I would like to see more information about what is the plan for the sports hub moving forward. I would like to hear from staff about what we have for infrastructure in place, in ground and things like this. But I know we've already approved a substantial amount of funds for another large building on site, and I'd like to know how it's all going to work together before I approve something else. And I won't get too nitpicky about the whole thing, but
Do you wish to talk, Deborah?
The Annapolis ACOS group, which is Annapolis County Outdoor Sports Hub Society, they have a 5-year plan now, so we could share that with council in terms of what they're doing. They're modifying it and changing it. This particular project came out of a public meeting, one of 2 that they had that were very well attended, and they felt that they needed a pavilion area that would provide some shade, but also some activities during inclement weather and so on. So I hope that answers your questions in regard to that. As far as the other project, which started off with Jim in terms of a storage facility, that's in a capital budget slated for years down the road. ACOS has indicated that they're not ready to do that project. They would like council's consideration to bump that another year. So that there's not a commitment of funds, it's just in a capital budget at this point in time. So that's for the project that would be on the west side. I think that's what you're referring to, Deputy Warden? Yeah.
I don't know if I've got the right order. Councillors Bartow, Hudson, Longmire, Gunn, and LeBlanc. Okay, Councillor Bartow, please.
Thank you. I guess any project, it's got a bit of magnitude to it, that it's kind of a light package of information that we have. I think that some might want to jump on board and stand behind something. I'd like to see, more information, some kind of rendering of what it's going to look like and how it's going to fit into the site plan and how it affects the surrounding areas on sight lines and everything else. This motion to approve is, I can't support it the way it's presented. It needs more backbone to it and more fleshing out of the information so that I can have a better look at what it means in the totality.
Thank you. Councillor Hudson, please.
Yes, I just have a question, I guess. This is going to be located north of the artificial field. Will it be situated on the grass field?
Yes, it will.
That's already there?
It's a grass area, but yes, it will be on the north side. I can circulate specifics, but I kind of, in your package actually shows that, but right here, just want to show you. It's north of the artificial track on the grassy area and basically south of the small youth field.
Right between.
Yeah, in between, yeah.
There's adequate room there for that?
Yes.
Is it? Okay. No, I was just concerned that it might be taking away part of that small field that I guess most of the little kids play there, the Timbits, and I didn't want to see their field jeopardized anyway.
No.
Because the fields are all being used, including the field at the school. Soccer is very popular and one of the main activities there at the sports hub. Thank you.
It's not a sports field.
Councillor Gunn,
it's a grass area.
sorry, Councillor Longmire, followed by Councillor Gunn.
Thank you. How amazing has it been for us to have this group across take this project on? They have grown significantly this year, and the activities have proven it. right from Councillor Enslow speaking about the clinic that was held there, and it was free. It was well attended. I remember back in the day when Charlie Scarrow did all kinds of running clinics and trained some great, phenomenal runners that went on to be and attend huge events in Canada and then on the world stage. You know, we can get back there. We've got this amazing space, and ACOS is doing this with us, for our county. It's always in the details. Of course, I look at the recommendation. Of course, I want to see it grow, and we know that the space is very hot. It's a big field. You know, it's going to need some sort of covering and ability to be able to use or do events or hold particular types of events in an enclosure, right? Rain and all that, because you can't cancel, right? When events are posted, most of those events have to go on as scheduled. So I would just say, I had looked at that map. I would think that with permits and entertaining where it was going to be placed and how big it's going to be, how tall it's going to be, isn't really my business. It is that we would be informed of all of the particulars so that we are sure that it, of course, meets all of the criteria and that it doesn't impede the chimney swifts, which we spoke about through this package. That's important. We know that there are many people that would be concerned with that. And so ACOS is just getting their feet under them and wanting a report. And I do echo a little bit there of Deputy Warden Redden when he said, you know, would want more information. Of course, we would need more information. Again, they're getting their feet under them, they're wanting to grow, and this is part of that. So I loved it when you spoke, Deborah, on the 5-year plan that they've got, and that perhaps we can have some of that information so that we can feel, you know, or see on paper exactly what that looks like, right? So we can grow with them. So it was wonderful that you shared that. I guess I will end it there. I'm just really excited. You know, there's a big space, lots of opportunity, and I'm excited to see it in the future. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Gunn, followed by Councillor LeBlanc, followed by Councillor Enslow, please.
Thank you so much. I'm always a little leery when I hear we're going to get something that's not going to cost us anything. And it's kind of like 15 feet turns into 22 feet when you read the document. Right? And and then we go to the financial implications, and they're saying that if they're successful, if they're not, then they're going to come looking to the county for a financial contribution. So it's whether, the long and the short of it is whether we want them to take on and get a 30 by 50 foot tarp building built up there. So I understand the use of it. Be perfect, you know, for the track. It's really good to keep them dry and, you know, inclement weather and things like that. I can understand that. But they're saying that they're going to raise the funds, but then again, you know, well, but if we get partway there and going to need some, we're going to come to the county. So I'd like some more information, unlike the other councillors. Before they would have moved it, I'd like a little more information. But then again, I'm leery of that fact of delaying it, because they're saying here that if they will fund the project without the county contributions in the 24 season. If we delay it to the 25 season, then they're coming back and they're looking for money. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
I'd like to point out that any organization who consistent with our policies can come to council at any time looking for money without being in a prejudiced situation. Councillor LeBlanc, please.
Thank you. I think this is a great idea, and I know that my grandkids were there for the clinic, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. And I heard that there was quite a few people there, which is great to see the kids out learning how to run properly. There's the key. This is something that is needed at any field. If you've been in the soccer field as a parent, and I'm going to look to my right, you're in all sorts of weather, and it can be from beating sun to snow.
Driving down.
So what concerns me is, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, why did they pick that area? And why did they pick so big? Because I would rather see 2 and have them placed strategically on the side. But that's just my thought at the moment. And why didn't they pick putting them on the side, and why did they pick it so big? Because then we also have to deal with the accessibility, of course, and how to get on this platform. And if it was my thought, why build a platform to raise and cause more difficulty for people that have any accessibility access to some of these places? So, I guess I need to know why so big and why there, instead of having 2 and whatever, and eliminating all sorts of accessibility issues with platforms would be something I would prefer to see. I'm not against this at all. I'm just totally questioning where they're putting it. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ansel, please.
Thank you. I could probably answer some of those questions.
Go for it.
So in regards to the 2024 season, most of that is around grants would expire. So there's no guarantee they could get grants next year, but they've already written grants for multiple things. So I think that's the main reason there. I just wanted to explain the location. It's not over top of a soccer field. It's not taking away any field. It's actually between where the 2 fields, the youth fields are, and then the actual artificial turf. There's a green section that's where they want to cover it. And the reason they picked that location is so people can view the track side, people can view the soccer field side. If it was built down where we're looking at doing a building in the future, you couldn't see what you're really looking at, and it wouldn't benefit all the different fields. And with the platform, the thought is that we already have 2 walking paths that are paved, that it would be connected to that, and they're accessible. And right in front of it is actually all the accessible parking lot, all the accessible parking. So it would be more work to have accessibility in the side field, where they're looking at doing a building in the future, versus where it's at. So more people could use where it's at, and the cost to put 2 smaller ones would be a lot more expensive than this one.
2 teams.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully that answered that question.
But why the platform? Why does it have to totally raise?
Well, because the problem with grass is you get in there with everyone standing there, it's just going to turn to mud.
You don't have to have grass.
No, but yeah. So the platform is probably going to get looked at. It's probably just going to be paved, I would imagine.
That's what I...
Right? So
Right now, it would be grass when
Yeah.
you put it in, for sure.
yeah, it's probably going to be a phased approach. So yeah. So hopefully I answered some of the questions.
Thank you.
Further discussion. Councillor Sheridan.
Well, thank you, Councillor Anslow. It just opened my mind in regards to filling out grants. And you have to, when you're applying for grants, you have to give them a picture, basically, of how you're designing and everything. And if we don't move forward with this, their grant is going to get turned down, and I wouldn't want to see that. I will support this because of that reason. I've written grants, and it's not fun. And there's a lot of work to it. So if they've gone and have detailed information for these grant applications, I wouldn't want to frown upon them today because I know how hard they worked for this. So I 100% will support this.
Thank you. All right, Councillor Ranmeyer.
Thank you. So they, Acost leases,
Yeah, excuse me. I wonder, councillors, if you could keep your side comments non-existent. Please, Councillor Ranmeyer.
thank you. So Acost leases the property. So they will involve our municipal engineer, will they be involved in making certain that the development, I know the permits and I know all of that, but just so that we know that, like,
It says it in the motion.
I know it says it in the motion, but they lease the property, so who's gonna own the actual?
Any
new
structures will own. Yeah.
Who-
Any structures the county of Annapolis will.
Okay, and so,
Any equipment they will own.
okay, all right.
That they purchase.
Yeah, it matters, sorry, Councillor Enslow, it matters for voting in favor or not. There are particular things I would want to make sure that the county is well involved in this particular group who's leasing the property, developing something on the leased property that the county owns. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think that's in the recommendation. Further discussion? All in favor, raise your hands, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in favor, 1 opposed. The motion is carried. Thank you. Page 73, Councillor Barto, please.
Okay, recommendations. That the municipal council repeal AM-1.6.1, employment equity policy, 7-day notice.
Thank you, seconded by. Don't all rush.
All right,
Sir
here.
Connell, thank you. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Page 79 is an information report. Councillor Longmire and Councillor Sheridan.
And this is page 75.
79.
79. Okay, I just need to ask a question. Sorry, I didn't realize that as I passed through 74, I did want to ask a question on 75. Is it too late? Or, I guess, more of a statement.
Okay. Statement.
It's okay? Thank you. On page 75, under the basic policy, I'm just going to read a few words that really are impactful, and we, as a county, knowing the changes that are happening inside our county and welcoming newcomers, equity of treatment must be practiced and observable in staffing matters without discrimination against any person or on any grounds prohibited by the Human Rights Act. I take those words, practiced and observable, extremely serious. Thank you.
Thank you. The TCTS report.
So I,
Yes, right.
so am I understanding that they are asked to leave their property where they are, or?
They have been, as it mentions in Part 4, they have been told or received a lease termination notice for a date later this fall. And the next meeting is the AGM and the regular board meeting on, put my glasses on here, on October 16th, and I expect an update then. At the meeting this is in reference to, they had some options that they were going to explore.
Wow, it's quite a change for them, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Councillor Blanc.
thank you. So from that, I guess we're getting that they were thinking of moving out of there to begin with, not particularly asked to move, or?
I understand that wasn't a foremost thought at the time, or, it's been presented to them that there's another, without getting into a lot of the details, there's another person or another group renting part of that building, and they would like to expand, is my understanding.
All right, thank you.
Further discussion? Thank you. Page 80, Deputy Warden, please.
I move that municipal council call a planning advisory committee meeting on September 25th, 2024 at 6 PM at Felker Hall, Cornwallis Park, for consideration of proposed Cornwallis Park planning documents.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Ansel. Discussion, please. Councillor Ansel.
Thank you, I'm just glad we're moving forward. Thank you.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Page 81, Deputy Warden, please.
Half a second here. Shuffle my papers on myself.
Take a whole second.
You're generous of you, sir. Thank you. I move that council request staff to collaborate with Annapolis Royal to develop a plan for moving forward with the engagement of the international Canadian community for the development of an Acadian research tourist/cultural center.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Longmire. Let me explain that a presentation was made to the CAO and me, and I think there were one or two other people. And this person and the town of Annapolis Royal think that this is a worthwhile discussion to have. And as the motion says, we will participate in the discussion. If there are recommendations that come out of the discussion, they will come to council.
Only talk so far.
As the motion says, it calls for
Well, I never get a
discussion.
copy of that.
We will participate in discussions, and if there are recommendations, they will be presented to council, and if there are no recommendations, that fact will be reported to council. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Deputy Warden, NSFM.
FCM. I think I said FCM?
Yeah.
Councillor Gunn in July made some very nice comments about FCM. But one of the things I thought I really enjoyed about FCM are some of the things that aren't just the main seminars and that I find very useful about FCM. For example, I had a general conversation was talking with a mayor from a substantial but not large city in southern Ontario. He told me how he envied our transit system and that he had actually having some connections to the Annapolis Valley as he was a child of military members. Use different terms. He had dealt with King's Transit in his youth, and he used King's Transit as an example of that, not in a disparaging way. He said rural Nova Scotia should not have a better transit system than a city of significant size in southern Ontario, which I took as a great compliment, as I think it was intended. You don't get these connections just by talking to your, the counselor next door and things like that. We tend to not see how our decisions have made impacts in the rest of the country, sometimes decades after we've made them. For example, the establishment of King's Transit back in the 90s. Was, I think, visionary in the modern world. And the fact that it still exists has been a big thing. And so that was a really good example of conversations that are had a dozen times over the course of your time at these conferences, which is often very encouraging, but also there's your own influences back and people telling you about these things. You bring back a lot of intangible knowledge, which is hard to duplicate. That's my comment.
I agree entirely. And my experience in New York is that if you are up above looking down, you see 101 countries seated, and all around the room are little bilateral and multilateral discussions. And that's why I always encourage members of council to attend these meetings, FCM and SFM, because you meet lots of interesting people, some of whom have same experiences, some of whom have different experiences, and all of them enlarge our vocabulary of knowledge. Thank you. Pardon me?
That was it. We didn't have to accept that report or anything.
No. Anything else?
We got this notice in our box of upcoming planning meetings,
Yes.
but some of them have no identification where the meeting is.
And I think that'll come. This was just to give you an outline as to the dates.
The invite came to our email.
They're all here.
Except for the one for Cornwall, so is at Falkirk Hall, the rest are the council meetings at council building in this one.
Okay. Just some of them said council chambers and some of them said nothing.
Sorry, my phone.
So I was filling them in my book last night.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a motion to move in camera, please.